Hey, what's happening? So let's go over Marty Friedman's first main solo from Hangar 18. Good things to know about this first is the riff that we're jamming over. In the song, it's just finishing one riff and then starting the solo riff. So that finishing riff is so that's the riff, but then it takes it one note farther or one chord farther, and that's where the solo starts. So this is a C sharp chord, and the very beginning of this solo starts off with a C sharp dominant arpeggio. So it's going to start this one up on our ninth fret of our low E string. So this is just coming from, if you do a C sharp 7 chord. So it'd be your bar chord, just lose the pinky. And then you can, if you wanted to, we will, you can add a pinky note on that 12th fret of the B string. So that's where this arpeggio is coming from. So you have two different ways of doing it. You can do two notes on the low E string, go from 9 to 13 at first, and then go down your arpeggio. Or you can, instead of that 13th fret, I like to do the 8th fret of my B string and do one of those, and then go into that form. So here's what we're looking at the very beginning. It's in triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to show this to you the way I normally do it. So it's going to be starting on the 9th fret of our low E string, and then we'll do 8th fret and 11th fret of the A string. So just making a major triad. Okay, after that, to the D string, with 9th fret and 11th fret. Okay, then on the G string, just the 10th fret, and then on the B string, 9 and 12. Okay, and then on the high E string, we'll do 9, 13, 9, and then finishes off with 12th fret of the B string. Okay, so again in triplets, so you should be hearing this as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's over that C sharp chord. Then the actual main riff starts for the solo, and that riff is this. So when I start thinking of what am I going to do in my solos over a certain riff, I think about what notes are in that riff. So this riff is in D, but I have a regular D note and then a flat 2. So that's just the fret higher than from the D note, and then the minor third. So I immediately start thinking, what are the scales that I know that have that flat 2 in it? And then also at the very end of this riff, we got this kind of that blues little lick, but it's also using a flat 5 in there. So you start thinking, what scales do I know that have the flat 2 and the flat 5? And those make for good candidates for scales to use over this type of riff. And we'll find out that most of the time what Marty Friedman is using is the Egyptian scale, which is scale degree 5, mode 5 of the harmonic minor. So you see it's got that flat 2 in there. Doesn't have the flat 5, but he also changes it up and uses the diminished scale, the half whole. There's two types of diminished scales. You have starting off with a half step, then a whole step, and just repeating that over and over. Half step, whole step, half step, whole step. And then the opposite of whole step, half step. This one, because of the riff, I'm going to use the half step, whole step. Oops. Okay. Anyway, so that's the riff that we're working on. So following that C sharp dominant arpeggio. Alright, so now everything's going to be in D. So the first thing he does after that is... Okay, so that's just D notes in octaves. So I'm looking at 15th fret of our B string and 12th fret of the D string. And then scoot back 2 frets, also in octaves. So that should be 13 and 10. Okay, then here we go, next lick. Okay, so this right here, I see this as using the diminished scale. And that's where that 12th fret comes into play. Anyway, so the next part is 12th fret of the B string. We're going to do a slide, a super fast slide up and back down from the 15 to 12 to 15 and back down to 12. Okay, and then 10th fret of our D, 10th fret of our G, and then 12th fret of our D. And then we'll do pull off to 10 and back to 12. Okay. Okay, then finishes off. This is, I see this as Egyptian scale. Sounds like it too. So there is the 14th fret of our G string, which is the regular 5th note of the scale. And then we'll do a hammer on and a pull off from 11 to 12 back to 11 of the G string, and then 13, 12 of the D string. Okay. All right. Moving on. So from here, we're going to have our pointer finger on the 11th fret of our G string, and we're going to slide it up from 11 to 14. And then we're going to do a diminished 7 arpeggio down, starting up on the 17th fret of our high E string. Okay. So that diminished arpeggio is 17, pull off to 14 of the high E string on the B string, 16th fret, G string, 17th fret. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to put our ring finger on that 11th fret and slide it up to the 14th fret again. So we did before. Now take that same finger and then do that same shape we did up here, but down here starting on the 14th fret. Okay, so that should be 14, pull off to 11, and then on the B string, 13, G string 14. Okay, then this next part is going to be outlining a C minor arpeggio. Okay, so using a couple little neighboring notes to make it sound a little bit cooler, because the regular arpeggio would just be kind of sounds like that, but it sounds way cooler than that. So we're doing from this arpeggio, this would be the scale degree 2 of it, and then we're going into the 3rd. So that's 12th fret of the D string up to 13th fret of the D string. Okay, and then 12th fret of the G, 13th fret of the B, and then 11th fret of our high E string, 15th fret, and then we're going to use the flat 5 of that chord. There it is. That's the 14th fret. Okay, so then we're going to go to the root of the arpeggio, which is the 13th fret of our B string. And we'll do 13, 16, 15. Okay, then 3 more notes. Be 10th fret of our B string. So 10, 13, 13. Okay, so all that is... Okay, and this is more or less halfway through the solo. Here's what we got so far, nice and slow. Okay, moving on to the next part. So we're just doing this little descending thirds pattern. Okay, so it seems really confusing, but it's there's actually a trick to it. So what we're doing here is we're starting up on our 17th fret of our high E string, and we're gonna go from 17 to 14 at first. And this is gonna be in groups of 4. It's gonna go back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So the first one is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 15 to 11. 1, 2, 3. And then 14 to 10. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna do 11 to 8. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then 10 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 8 to 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's the end of it. So after we do our 1, 2, 3 down here, we'll do 6, and then hammer on pull off from 5 to 6, and back to 5. Okay, then 8th fret of our B string, and then one more, 5th fret of our high E, and 8th fret of the B with a pre-bend. Oops, I got a full pre-bend. Release it, and then pre-bend again. Okay, so this whole section here is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. All right, and then we're at the last lick of this thing. So we're gonna start on the 7th fret of our B string. We'll do hammer on from 7 to 8 to 10, and then pull offs back down. Okay, and then 8th fret of our G, and back to the B string, hammer on from 7 to 8, and then a 7. Okay, so that's the sequence here. We're gonna repeat it 3 frets higher in just a second. Okay, then let's go up to the 10th fret with our pointer finger, do the exact same thing. So you should be using the 10th fret, the 11th fret, and the 13th fret, and then the 11th fret of your G string. Okay, and then we'll move up 3 frets higher again. This time the form is going to change a little bit, and we're going to use the 13th fret, the 15th fret, and the 16th fret. But still kind of do this same pattern. And then instead of ending it the same way as before, we're just going to do... So that was the hammer on, and hammer-ons up, pull off down, and then we'll do 14th fret of our G, and then 13 of the B, and then 14 of the G again. Okay, so this whole section here. Okay, and then to finish it off, so this last part is 13, 15, 16. And then on high E string, 14, 15, 17. And then do a 1.5 bend on your 17th fret. So it just sounds like the bend is moving up 3 frets. Okay, also for these floating bridges, you got to bend even higher, because the more you bend, the more the bridge just kind of caves in and detunes everything, which makes you have to bend even higher. That's what I hate about these things, but anyway. So the second half all the way through will sound like this. and then the whole thing nice and slow for you. You got this. And that is your main solo number 1 by Marty Friedman for Hanger 18. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed what you just learned and get good at it. And until the next lesson, I'll see you later. Keep on jamming.